As we discussed last week, Sheridan's line had fallen back and taken up new positions to ready themselves for the next wave of attack. While many of his divisions did sustain heavy losses, he still had the men and the courage to stand against the relentless Confederate enemy coming against him. In this week's video, we will cover the second wave of attack. Will Sheridan's line break? Will the defenses hold? Will Sheridan once again have to move his lines back, or will he retake his former line? All aboard the Kentucky-Tennessee Living Time Machine as it is preparing to depart into another look into the Battle of Stones River. Please fasten your seatbelts and keep your arms and legs inside of the vehicle at all times. But to get going, we need your help. We still need to fire up that time machine to transport us. Please help us by clicking on the like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons down below. Not only does this fire up the time machine for our flight back in time, but it convinces the YouTube algorithm that we need a bigger vehicle to reach more people who love history as much as you do. Now, back to our story. Colonel Roberts' brave charge. Around 8:30 a.m., Colonel George Roberts was now commanding Sheridan's 3rd Brigade, saw the Confederates coming up through the cedars to once again attack his line. Manigault had reformed his columns of his brigade, and General Brigadier George Maney's brigade was supporting his left flank. Roberts had his men unfurl their battle flag, attach their bayonets, and charge the enemy coming toward them. Sheridan personally witnessed this charge and recalled his men back to the division line before they could be captured. Evidently, from Sheridan's position, he could see that there were hordes of Confederates that were roaming the cedar breaks southeast of Wilkinson Pike in what looked like some confusion. However, the bravery of Roberts and his men did not go unnoticed. According to Historynet, we have the following. Quote, "These regiments," unquote, Colonel Luther P. Bradley wrote, quote, "went forward at double quick and cleared the wood in front of our lines, the enemy giving way before we reached him," unquote. So, as we can see, while Sheridan did recall the men, they were successful in their charge, but Manigault and Maney were not done yet. Maney's attack. There are now 3 Confederate brigades at Sheridan's front. Sheridan's right flank was deteriorating, and so he began plans to make a 3rd defensive line for his men. Even though Sheridan had thrown up his new defensive lines in a hurry, his thoughts were for his right flank. If this flank could hold, and the ammunition trains would be able to come up and restock them, then Sheridan was sure that his men could hold off the frontal assault. But this task would not so easily be accomplished. Brigadier General George Maney's brigade was once again moving towards Sheridan's lines. Maney was able to get Lieutenant William B. Turner's Mississippi Battery established. Then, the battery immediately started firing case shots against Bush's artillerists who were retiring from the battlefield. In response, Hotowling began firing spherical case shots and shell against Maney's troops. This caused a great bit of confusion for the Confederates, as Maney and his officers believed that Manigault had already cleared this area. They assumed, wrongly, that the ammunition that was raining down upon them was friendly fire. Colonel H. R. Field, commanding the 1st and 27th Tennessee Consolidated Regiment, ordered his men to lay down on the ground and not fire a shot until it could be ascertained where the fire was coming from. When it was discovered that it was Hotowling's battery that was firing canister into his regiment, Field ordered his men to return fire. Maney ordered Turner's Mississippi Battery to fire upon Hotowling's batteries from a ridge south of Wilkinson Pike. Hotowling's batteries were 500 yards east of Turner's position. Sheridan reforms his right flank. Brigadier General Philip Sheridan took it upon himself to see what was exactly going on with his right flank. He was very disappointed with what he witnessed. The right flank had deteriorated to the point that there was no organization and very little resistance taking place. The 1st and 2nd Divisions were unable to reform their lines. Returning once again to his command, Sheridan ordered Colonel Nicholas Grussel and Colonel Frederick Schaefer to change their front lines to the west and prepare for an immediate attack. The unbroken lines were quickly and successfully changed under the heavy artillery and musket fire of the Confederates. During the early morning fighting, Colonel Grussel had lost two of his divisions, the 36th Illinois, because they ran out of ammunition, and the 21st Michigan was now supporting Hiscock's Battery G, 1st Missouri Battery. Grussel had only the 88th Illinois and the 24th Wisconsin under his battle command. Colonel Schaefer ordered what was left of his 2nd Brigade to support Grussel's left flank and position themselves in the cedar breaks among the rocks, caverns, and fallen trees. Wood, Polk, Johnson, and Manigault's attack. Just as Sheridan's right flank had been shorn up, then Brigadier General S.A.M. Wood's Confederate Brigade attacked it. Wood's brigade came charging across the field north of the pike, but was immediately met with artillery fire from Sheridan's battery. Needless to say, this charge was short-lived. Brigadier General Lucius E. Polk's 1st Brigade came up to support Wood on his right flank. However, this brigade was also quickly stopped and forced to change their position as they came under the same heavy fire by Hugh Talling's battery. Polk's change of position was able to give a moment of breath to the Federal soldiers as it took time to reposition his men. Brigadier General Bushrod Johnson was given urgent messages to bring his brigade forward by Claiborne. However, in the fray of battle, Johnson's brigade missed Polk's men completely and ran upon Sheridan's right flank under the command of Grussel. According to the Historynet source, Johnson wrote about his arrival onto the battlefield. Quote, "We descended the slope of a hill and entered the cedars on a rocky acclivity some 200 yards to the left of the position to which Captain Terry had driven the enemy's skirmishes," unquote, Johnson reported. Quote, "My men here opened fire when I directed them to desist, believing that our friends were in front of our line. Riding now in advance of our right line, the enemy fire was unexpectedly drawn. After a few rounds, it was found that the heavy force was flanking our right, where we were unsupported. I consequently moved my command to the rear in good order," unquote. After the arrival of Johnson's brigade, Polk's men were in their new positions and once again attacked, but this was short-lived as Polk would later report, according to Historynet. Quote, "I again moved on," unquote, Polk wrote, quote, "but did not proceed far when the enemy's batteries, posted across the cornfield on the right of the pike, commenced playing fearfully upon my ranks," unquote. Manigault's 5 Confederate regiments moved against the Union troops positioned just south of Robert's brigade. The Confederate regiments charged with a renewed fury through the cedar break. Hiscock's artillery leveled their guns to 0 degrees and fired a deadly volley into the Confederate attackers. In just a few minutes, the second wave came to a deadly end. The fighting for the day was not over. The Confederates would once again regroup for a third and final attack against General Sheridan's men. In next week's video, we will cover the last wave of attack. Will the Confederates finally be successful in defeating the defenses of Sheridan? Would Sheridan's men win the battle? Would it actually be a draw? Thank you. Kentucky Tennessee Living would like to thank you for watching our video series on the Appalachian Civil War battles. Don't forget to hit that like button, as the more likes we receive, the more likely YouTube is to suggest our videos to other viewers. Also, to receive notice when we upload a new video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell notification buttons. Be sure to double check that you are subscribed, as some of our viewers are finding that they are no longer subscribed to our channel. We thank you for continuing to support Kentucky Tennessee Living as we are discovering the mysteries in Appalachian history.